Alright, so hey guys, we are back at it again with another Art Rambles video. Thank you so much to the amazing person that came up with this idea so that way I can share some tips with you. But before we get into that, I need to do my little YouTube shill. So thank you as always to my amazing Patreon patrons. I love you all so much. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I love you so much. Every little bit helps, and I do have it in my other social medias and my Linktree link down below. And if you like my content and you like my videos, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. You can't think of anything, put a comment or an emoji or comment for the bot. The bot does love that food because that does tell the stupid algorithm gods that you like my content and you want to see me. Now, let's get into the video again with my air conditioning because it is a It is a Michelle Sot. It is a hot summer day in Southern California, so I'm not letting my pet suffer for a YouTube video. I hope you guys will understand. I apologize, but when you live in a one-bedroom apartment, your office space is your living room, so you gotta deal. So, we are going to talk about now basic networking tips. Now, I will admit, I am not a pro when it comes to networking, but I do think I have a basic understanding, and I have been able to put my name out there and understand at least a good basics. I say that because there are some people out there who are kind of like scary good at networking, and they're willing to step on people to get to there. You don't have to go that far, but we know that those people do exist. And so I'm not comfortable, being that way, but sometimes you gotta be a little cutthroat. So be prepared for that. But I wrote down some lists here that would help me out so I can give it to you guys, and so it would help you out as well. Now, the first one is a little self-explanatory, but it's kind of important. You need to put your name out there. You need to have artwork. You need to have some kind of a platform. Even if you have less than 100 followers or watchers or whatever, you need to have a username. You need to be posting art. You need to be posting writing. You need to be posting whatever it is that you do that is your creative outlet so people know that you do it. Even if it's not big, it's gotta be there. You are not gonna get anywhere in this day and age unless you literally have connections not having some kind of social media presence whatsoever. Because putting yourself out there helps at least people see what you are. You can submit a portfolio, but if you have nothing behind your name whatsoever and nothing people can look at, they are less likely to look at your portfolio, like I said, unless you had those connections, such as you went to school and or you know somebody who's already in the industry. There are quite a few people that don't do artwork online, and they are strictly an in-person thing. But from what I've seen, not many of those people work in the industry or do freelance or do any of the kind of things that I do because, you gotta put your name out there to make the money. So, there's that. But what you need to do is you need to also have to help with this while you're sharing and posting your artwork. This is something I learned. You need to have, when you do a watermark, we're not getting into the watermark debate right now. We're just not. I'm not going to talk about that. You need a watermark of some kind. I have learned the best thing, and I've even done it recently. I'm still such a big fan of the really nice watermarks that are like really thought out and aesthetic and cool and unique to the person. Sadly, those are hard to read. It's the sad reality of the fact. They're hard to read, and they're harder for people to find your stuff. I started noticing this trend about a year ago. I know people have been doing it longer, but I started noticing it more and more that people were putting their ats, the at sign and their thing in their artwork. And I noticed that, and I noticed they were making it easier to read, but it still didn't destroy from the artwork looking at it. And I was like, cool. That's actually smart, because then people can just look your username up because they can just look at it. Over saying something like myself, my old watermark, which was my first and last name, and then TwistedDisaster, and then TwistedDisaster with 3 E's. And it's what I used to use. It used to be my little magic seal. I think it's still my icon on Etsy. I think. I could be wrong. It's been a while. But I really liked that. Those are hard to read. They're hard to read. They're hard for people to find your stuff. So you also need to find a good middle ground when it comes to watermarking. But I would suggest, honestly, very simple, very blunt, just do your ats. If you have multiple usernames on multiple platforms, do your ats. This is also why you don't really want to have a multitude of them. You want to have like 1 or 2 different variations if you can, have that. But have them on the picture, have them in a place where people will see them, but don't detract from the picture. That way, also, if your artwork does get shared around, people are going to know where to look. They're going to know what to look up, what to Google. So that's a really, really important thing, too. Another thing is you need to post semi-consistently. A lot of people like to claim that, like, people who complain about the algorithm just don't know what they're doing. No, it's a thing. It's a bot. It's true, because the internet is vast and wild and big, and there's a lot of people on here now compared to how there used to be. So there's no way people can mandate it. They have algorithms to push it. With that being said, you need to post semi-consistently. This is a problem I have. I've been doing better at it, and it has been showing to work. So what that means is there are some people that are like, you need to post every single day. I don't agree with that. Especially if you don't have a lot of confident stuff or a lot of backlog or a lot of work. Like myself, I have a lot of work. I do a lot of commissions, I do a lot of Patreon stuff, so I constantly am working. It's my job. So it's easier for someone like me than other people. But even then, sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I didn't really draw anything new, or all of my stuff's under NDA, or this and that. So I kind of forget to post. But if you are consistent enough, especially starting out, start out with once a week. Make one consistent goal to make a consistent post on one of your art platforms once a week. And if you can't do that, retweet or reblog or reshare. Use your stories. Instagram stories are glorious to promote it for other things, because while it might be old, if you still at least kind of like the art, other people can go through and see it. They might not have seen it before. You might have gotten new people or had more people track to it. So doing this helps that bot on both YouTube and every other art platform to be like, hey, what do you know? Here's something new that they posted. This is also more that I'm talking towards sites like TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter over portfolio sites like ArtStation or Artfoil or DeviantArt. DeviantArt's more portfolio based. You don't want to spam on DeviantArt, but when it comes to algorithm ones, like I said, like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz, you want to post as often as you can and consistently as you can. And then that way it also helps people get out. So the next thing I have here is my next thing for networking is you actually have to work on portfolio stuff. Don't just say that you're going to work on it and then you never do. Work on portfolio stuff. Have portfolio stuff ready and going for things that you want to do. Obviously, if you don't want to do backgrounds, don't do backgrounds. Don't just do that because people are telling you to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't want to do props, don't do props. But you need to have your portfolio work ready, so when hashtags like Portfolio Day come around, or they have, like, you know, I forget the other ones, but they have ones for, like, specific people. You know, like, there are some where it's, like, you know, certain ethnicities, you know, promotion day on, like, Instagram, Twitter, and stuff. Certain people who are of the LGBTQ+, like myself, you know, just other people, too. You know, where you're having things, you know, gender is also a big thing, like, they have special days like that. And then that way you have your stuff as well as Portfolio Day to share around, so you can network and see, and people can find it. And so when you have it, you're ready to go. You have it already set aside and good when those days pop up to network, to do things, to pop out. Because there are a lot of bigger artists I follow that, while they're not looking for work, a lot of them go through and they find the youngest, smallest, like, portfolios that look decent, and then they retweet them, or they share them, or they put them on their Instagram. They do shout-outs. One, in particular, I know, I think it's Bappy Doodles or Baffy Doodles. I know that they're on TikTok. I know I think it's Friday or Saturday, they do like a little shout out on their TikTok where they just go through a bunch of really cool artists they like that are smaller, and they just literally shout them out. That happens, but you know how you get noticed? Even if you're smaller, you post. That's the biggest thing. You need to be able to post. So that's why that's a thing. Now, I also put here that details don't matter. You don't have to constantly working on new things. So by that, what I mean is, if, you know, same stuff, different day. It's really hard not to curse. I hate the stupid bot. But you end up feeling like burnt out or having a really bad case of imposter syndrome because you're like, oh, I can't do this and this, I can't do that and that, or I only like doing this or that. Then do this or that. No one's making you do this. But if you do want to make it a job, you're going to have to do stuff you don't want to do. That's a part of life in any career field, in any way. Sometimes you're going to have to make stuff you don't want to do. Sometimes you have to take a commission you don't want to take. Obviously, don't sell your morals if it's going to, like, destroy you emotionally or mentally. Don't go that far. But, you know, not everyone who gets in the animation industry gets a show kind of, you know, getting off the ground. And so with that, work towards things that you like. And like I was saying earlier about sharing older things, maybe show older artwork. Dude, draw this in your styles. Do, oh, draw this again. Show people where you've come and what you can do and the range that you can do. That also helps a lot with networking. So, the next thing I have is number 3, spam, but don't, don't spam, but look around. See, I'm stumbling over my own words, my own notes here. So, by this logic, I know I was talking about consistency and doing things like that. By that I mean, don't post multiple times a day the same picture if you don't have time to do a lot of artwork. This is what I'm talking about, because I've seen people do this. There are people who have jobs, or school, or they're a parent, or they're taking care of somebody close to them, or their lives are just busy. And because of that, they don't get a lot of time to draw every single day. So I've seen those people that post a really cool looking thing, and they spam the hell out of it. I see it like 19 times a week or a day, and it's not like a commission promo or something, and I'm just kind of like, okay, now I'm sick of it. You're spamming it too much. So, what I mean by looking around and getting things is, I hate being this person. You gotta talk to people. You gotta message people. Not love bombing, not being weird simps about it. Be honest. Or say something funny. If, like, you see a picture that makes you laugh or think something, do that. That's how you start getting... A lot of my friends that I have now have come from us just kind of passively being followers of each other and talking here and there, and then slowly talking more, and then slowly getting more comfortable to, like, ask for, DMs, and then going from DMs to talking. That's also a big thing. That's a big way to help it, And that's why you need to find that good middle ground. And it's hard to find the good middle ground, because there is no right or wrong way to do it. But eventually, you will have people start to notice you. Right now, I can tell you, there are people that come to my Twitch streams and, buy my stuff. I recognize their names. I don't know much about them, but I know their names because they're almost always there, they're almost always talking, and they're almost always buying stuff from my store. And those people stand out because they're consistently also doing it. They're also networking. They're also talking. Yeah, they are also doing a service, but a lot of them are artists. When I do things and I open up for collabs or commissions, I am probably more likely to talk to somebody or see somebody who's kind of been active at talking at me first. Again, though, gotta find that middle ground. Don't step boundaries. I know I sound like I'm reiterating it, but that's kind of how it works. You can't sit there being a lurker, because I've also been a lurker. There are many times where I just don't have anything to say. I just like it. You can't sit there being a lurker, never putting your name out there, never working at your portfolio, never trying to do things, never trying to do this and that, and just working privately for stuff for yourself, and then wondering why you don't have a comic book deal. Wondering why your story isn't getting read. You're not putting yourself out there for people to find it. So, it's harsh, but it's true. You can't just wait for a magical opportunity to happen. Like I said, unless you already know people that are already there and might be able to kind of do like an in, for you. But realistically, how many people have that, honestly, The next thing I have for networking is, obviously not everybody can do this, but if you can do conventions or shows or art walks, if you can, that's a great way to get your name out there from people who would never have found your stuff before. I have met so many amazing artists that I'd never talked to from just doing the couple of cons that I've done. I've made friendships out of them. I've had friends because of the networking of us just talking and hanging out and, like, sharing business cards. I've been able to get ins on doing, like, merch deals with friends, or when zines are coming out, or when certain things are coming out. Because I did go to a con to do the networking, I didn't go solely to be like, hey, here's my thing. I was also working it, but it was something that we were similar and we could understand about. I've also heard stories of people that have gone to conventions and been seen because there are industry people that go to conventions and look around, both to just visit or to just see. I actually had a friend of mine who did really good at conventions pre-Six Spiky Round Boy, and she ended up being like the lead artist on a card game from this company because the guy who made the company just happened to go to the con and really liked her stuff. That is stuff that happens. That is stories that happen, but it didn't happen with her just sitting alone at home drawing and not posting her stuff anywhere. It came from going to conventions and people seeing it and talking to people. And so The last sign I have, though, is what you need to do is, and this is a little bit of an odd one, but if you do have a little bit of a better following, you know, not drastic, I would say probably like around my level, because while I'm not like uber duper well known, I will admit I'm at least on the map. Like, I'm a dot on the map, but I am there. Because some people know who I am, you know, and I do get consistent sales and things like that I've worked really hard to get to. I've been doing this job for years. Not YouTube, just art. But you can, if you look into it, sign up with a network. But please do researching first. The reason why I say that is there are networks, there are management companies. I've had people reach out to me. I'm not comfortable doing that right now. Just my life's already a mess. And they can help network for you if you sign up with things like that. But in those instances, that's why I have the last one here, you usually do have to kind of pay or end up paying the person, you know, or giving them a cut of your stuff if you do network and things like that. But those do work. They do help a lot. And if you are more of a, you know, a shyer or a anxious person that you're worried about it, that might be your best way to go. In that case, if you are that way, but your work needs to speak for you in that case, instead of you speaking for your work needs to speak for you. So you need to have the portfolio, you need to have the following, you need to have the networking, you need to have, well, not the networking, you need to have the social media kind of like ism, I mean, where you have to, you know how posting works, knowing how things works, showing that your artwork can speak for you. Because if it doesn't and you can't speak for your work, then what are you doing? Now, that being said, this is more of a professional type video. If you are a hobbyist, if you just enjoy doing art for fun, if this just brings you serotonin, that is great and you are valid. But these points probably aren't going to help you because you don't really care about making money with your art, which is fine. And more people should be fine with that. But these were just the tips and tricks that I've learned about basic networking, and hopefully some of them will help you guys or clear things up. If not, if you have more questions, please comment down below. I will do my best to answer them. But yeah, that's all I got. I hope this helps you guys, and I hope you have a great day. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.